What is up, everybody? It's Patrick from Purple Park Studios, and welcome back to another tutorial. I feel like it's been a minute since we've done anything here. So for this project today, we're going to be recreating this soccer player here and the soccer ball, this guy that I modeled here. And in the description, you'll find a link to this project file, as well as all the assets and everything I used and created for this project. You can get those for free, so you can download that, and it may help when you're following along with this tutorial. But if you don't want to download that, we're going to go ahead and make everything again from scratch, so no worries. So I'm actually going to use this model that I made here kind of as a reference. So I'm just going to hit A to select everything, 1 to go to front view, and G and X, and I'm going to move everything over here, and I'm going to go out of look dev mode here, so that way he'll just kind of be off to the side a bit there. And I'm going to right click up here and hit new collection, and I'm going to just call this soccer player 2, if I can type, which I can't. And we're going to start creating this soccer player, the second soccer player in this collection here. So first things first, I'm actually going to hide this terrain platform too, just because it's got a lot of geometry, so it might slow things down. So I'm going to hit Shift A, and I'm going to add in a cube, go into front view, and I'm going to add a subdivision surface modifier, and I'm going to go ahead and change the levels view to 2, and I'm going to right click and shade smooth, go to my normals and just hit auto smooth down there. And I'm going to hit G and Z, and I'm going to move this up to about where the other guy is. Real quick, I think I'm actually going to turn off the hair as well, just so things move a little quicker. So I'm going to actually, now that I've added this subdivision surface modifier in, I'm going to go ahead and apply it, and then I'm going to add in another one, and I'm going to change the levels view to 2. And the reason I did that is just because when I go into edit mode, now I have a bit more geometry to work with, and then with adding the second subdivision surface modifier, we'll just kind of smooth everything out. So I'm going to go ahead and I like to left click this little button here, and that just kind of smooths everything out when you're working with the subdivision surface modifier. So we're going to have it like that. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go down, I'm going to grab a couple of these bottom faces down here, maybe the 4 on the bottom, on front view, hit E and Z, pull that down, scale a little bit, and then I'm going to just hit E and Z and pull that down to about there. And then I'm going to add a loop cut by hitting Control R, bring it down like so. And we're not doing arms for this guy because the idea behind this character was like, you can't use your arms in soccer. So unless we make a goalie, everyone's just not going to have arms. So next thing, what we're going to do here is we're going to pull the legs out here. So I'm going to grab this, hit 3 to go in face mode, select that one there, and I'm just going to hit E and Z, bring that down like so, and I'm just going to move it out a little bit on the X. And this is because later when we add a mirror modifier, I don't want the geometry to be joined together, so I want to just make sure I pull that out a little bit on the X there. Then I'm going to hit Control R, add a loop cut, bring it down like that. And I want to go and select this bottom face here and hit S, Z, and 0. And that'll just flatten everything out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him some feet here. So I'm going to grab this face here, hit E and Y, pull that out like that. I can grab this face and just pull things up a bit there. So now what we want to do is, you can see over here with this guy, what we want to do is start making it appear like he's got, a pair of shorts and some shoes and a shirt on. So the way we're going to do that is we'll start with his shoe first. So I'm going to hit Tab, go into edit mode, I'm going to hit Control R to add a loop cut, pull that down like that. I'm going to hit S to scale and scale that in, and then I'm going to bring it down on the Z like that. So we're going to need to create another loop cut here. And this one I'm going to just pull up like that and scale in a little bit. like that. So now it looks like he's got a little shoe on. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to next want to make, I guess we'll make his, the neckline here for his shirt. So I'll hit Control R using the same concept. And I'm going to just scale in like that and push down. Control R, add a loop cut in. Oop, Control Z, I don't like the way that went. Control R, add a loop cut. Scale that out. Scale out a little bit more. And just pull it up like that, or down. Maybe down a little bit there. So now it kind of looks like he's got a little collar there for his shirt. And then we're going to want to make the, what do we have over here? The shirt hanging down a little bit. So Control R, add a loop cut using the same exact concept. And I'll scale inwards, or maybe outwards actually here. Control R, add another loop cut, scale in. And bring that up like that. And then I could just hit 2 to go into edge select mode, holding down Alt, select this entire edge loop around here. Scale that out just a bit, hit 1 to go into front view, and then I'll just pull down on the Z so it appears that his shirt's kind of overhanging a bit. And I know that right now he only has one leg, but that's okay. We're going to fix that in a minute. So tap into edit mode and Control R, add a loop cut, pull that up. Scale, or well, actually Control R, we'll add another loop cut in here first, and we'll scale that one in, and then we'll go up to this first loop cut we've added and go make sure to hit 2 to go into edge select mode. Holding down Alt, we'll select this loop here, and we're going to scale out a little bit, and we're just going to bring it down on the Z like that. Maybe we want to bring it up just a little bit. So now he's got some shorts, he's got some shoes, he's got a little jersey on, so we're getting somewhere here. So now, before because we're going to add a mirror modifier so we get this entire leg on the other side as well. But before we do that, we have to fix a couple things here. Let's go into face select mode here. And let's select both these faces on the bottom. And I'm going to hit S, Z, and 0. And they already seem to be flattened out. So here, I'm going to hit 3 to go into side view. This foot looks a little crooked to me, so I want to fix that. So Control R, add a loop cut, S, Z, and 0. We'll flatten that out. And then I'm going to go and hit 3 to go into face select mode. I'm going to go into X-ray mode. And I'm going to grab all these faces down here, and I'm going to hit X, and I'm going to delete them. So by holding down Alt, I selected this loop here. I'm just going to bring that down a little bit on the Z. I'm going to hit Control R to add in the loop cut, bring that all the way down. Then I'm going to hold down Alt and select this bottom loop again and hit F to fill. I can actually hit 2 and then Alt, grab this loop here and just bring that down just to kind of flatten out that foot a little bit, like so. And then I just want to grab these faces on the back here, mainly this face on the back, and just pull that face up like that. We can even pull this face a little bit out like that. So next we can work on the face here. So let's grab these faces here, and we'll hit I to inset, and just holding down Shift, I'm just using my mouse to kind of scroll in. And then I'll hit E and Y and S to scale down a bit. And then I can add a loop cut in here, Control R. Just bring that out like that. And on my subdivision surface modifier, I'm going to change the levels view to 3, just smooth everything out a bit more. You don't have to, but I'm just going to go with that. So, and then I do want to just hit S while I have this loop selected and bring the mouth in a little bit for this guy. So it's like that. So next we want to work on the eyes here. So I'm just going to grab, go into face mode and grab these two faces here. And I'm going to hit I to inset. And then I'm going to hit E and Y and just move them in a little bit like that. I think what I did for this guy here. Okay. I'm going to hit I again. And then E and Y, and I'm just going to pull his eyes out a little bit like this. We're going to do something a little bit different for this guy's eyes. But I think it'll be cool. And if you notice, he doesn't really have a nose, so hit Tab to go into edit mode again. And we actually can give this guy a nose. We're going to select this point in the middle here. And I'm going to hit Shift Alt B, or no, I'm sorry, Control Shift B. And that'll let you bevel out the that point there. Then I'll hit E and Y and just pull his nose out a little bit like that. And I can scale it up or down, whatever you want. Maybe I'll just do something like that for this guy. So next we want to make some eyebrows. So I'll go into edit mode here, and I'm going to select these two faces here. I'm going to hit Shift D to duplicate them, pull them out like this. S and Z to scale them up a bit. And then I'm going to hit Alt E, extrude faces along normals, and just extrude back a bit. And then I'm going to select this face here, hit L, hold down Shift, select this face, and hit L again. And then I'm just going to move those eyebrows back into place there. We can maybe move them in a little bit on the X here. I'm sorry, bring them up a bit on the Z. So now this guy looks like he's a little, he's fierce, he's pissed off. This guy looks pissed off too. So if you want to make teeth, you can. I guess we'll make some teeth real quick. Just hit Shift A, Mesh, Cube, S, Z, scale down. 1 to go into front view, G and Z to move that up. S and X to scale in on the X. And then S and Z just to scale up a bit more on the Z. And we'll bring it down on the Z, and we're going to need to bring this scale S and Y, and then move it forward on the Y. Maybe back just a hair. And then we can actually bring that up on the Z, and then just hit Shift D, Z, and move it down for his bottom set there. Maybe this one we can scale in a bit. Something like that. So now he's got some teeth there. So we can make some hair for this guy real quick. Hit Tab to go into edit mode and just select all the faces where you want hair. So I'll go through and do this quick. Oop, Control Z. Something like that. So then I'm going to hit Shift D, duplicate the mesh, and then S to scale it down until I can't see it anymore. I'm going to hit Alt E, extrude faces along normals, and just pull it up, and you can go as big or as little as you want. I think we're going to go crazy here. We're going to go crazy with the hair today for this guy. And then you can hit L, P, separate by selection, go out of edit mode, and let's just clean up our scene here a bit. First I'll save my project. So this here, we'll name this main mesh 2. We'll name this, well actually let's join these teeth together here. Well we don't have to join them, we'll do top teeth 2, and we'll call this bottom teeth 2. And then we've got our hair 2. And there we go. So let's hit 1 and go into front mode, and I'm going to select my main mesh and then hit 1. Oops, sorry, Control Z, go into tab, X-ray mode 1 for vertice mode, and just select half of the vertices here. And we'll hit X and we'll delete them. might need to grab this one here too. There we go. So now with our main mesh selected here, we can go down to the modifiers tab. I'm going to add a mirror modifier. Make sure you bring that mirror modifier up above the subdivision surface modifier and turn on clipping. Just real quick check that everything's good. We have some issues with our nose. We can select this loop here by holding down Alt and just hit F to fill it. So we should be in good shape. And before we mess with this, get into the hair, let's start assigning some materials for this character here. So if you downloaded the project file that I put the link to in the description, you could use some of those materials, but if you didn't, we're just going to make some new ones, some real simple ones here for the sake of this tutorial. So we'll start by just clicking New, and I'm going to hit Skin 2. And we can go into Look Dev mode if we just click up here. And you can make his skin whatever color you want. I'm just going to do like kind of a darker-ish color there, something like that. Maybe I'll try and match it up to this other guy. Actually, I'll just use the eyedropper and just click that. It's a little too orange looking for me. So whatever, I'll just leave that there for now, that's fine. So next what we can do is tab, go into edit mode, and we're going to select the shirt here. So just go into face select mode and start selecting all the faces for his shirt here. And it's nice now that we have that mirror modifier on because we only have to select half of the faces, letting the mirror modifier kind of do the rest of the work for us. You just want to make sure you get the insides here of a shirt. Looks like we might have already got that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this plus icon over here. You make sure you're in the materials tab. Select new, and I'm going to call this Jersey 2, and then I got to hit assign. And you'll see it'll turn it white, and we did actually miss two faces here. It's no problem. You can just hold down Shift, and then click on Jersey and hit assign, and it'll assign those materials as well. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything. And let's make this guy's jersey like red or something. And then let's get his shorts. So we'll just start selecting faces. You can hold down Shift while you're clicking on faces to select faces. Make sure we get all of them this time. And that's one reason too why I put that first subdivision surface modifier on and applied it with only subdivisions of 2. It gives me enough geometry to work with, but I'm not overloaded when I'm selecting faces and stuff. I don't have like 10 million faces to select. It's just a couple. It makes things easy. And then I added that second subdivision surface modifier to smooth everything out for the workflow, if that makes sense. So I can hit this plus icon here, and then I'll hit new, and I'm going to hit, call this shorts 2. And then hit assign, and we can maybe make his shorts blue or something for now. Maybe a bit darker blue. Now let's get his shoes here. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just start selecting faces, holding down Shift. And I'm kind of feeling like maybe some white shoes for this guy. Make sure you get the inside of his shoes there. We got all the faces, and then we'll just hit the plus icon, new, shoes 2, and assign. And yeah, I think we'll actually leave them white. Let's just make sure on all these materials we've created that we turn our roughness up to about like 0.9 or all the way up. Just do that real quick. And for the teeth, we can just kind of I'm gonna use a material that I already have here. So it's literally just a white material. I already have a teeth material in here, so I'm just gonna assign that just for the sake of being organized. But You can literally just create a new material and leave it white and name it teeth. So I'm not going to do that again. But anyways, moving on, let's get the eyes here next. So tab, go into edit mode, and let's grab these here. And we'll hit new, and we're going to call this the pupil. And then just hit assign again. Can't type today, God. Assign, and we want this one to be black. So just bring that all the way down. And then we can scroll down here and change the roughness to about 0.2. And we'll select this an area around here, around his eyes. That will just white. So new. Call this eye white, 2 and assign. And we want to go ahead with this one and just turn our clear coat all the way up, and our roughness to again 0.2. So now we're going to work on the hair. So for the hair, just go ahead and select the hair, hit new, we'll call this hair 2, and go ahead and make this whatever color you want. Probably going to go with something like that. For now, you want to go ahead and turn the roughness up again to about 0.9. And now, in order to get with this character over here, I turned his hair off earlier, but he's got this kind of a stylized hair. You could leave it like this, and if your computer or laptop can't handle it, definitely you can leave it like this. You could always go into edit mode and start, extruding and pulling some faces around and doing some creative stuff. Even use some displacement modifiers. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the particle systems tab here and click new, and then select hair, and then I'm going to change this hair length to something like 0.01, maybe go 0.04, and I'm going to change the number to 4,000. Scroll down here, go to interpolate it under children. The display amount, I'm going to make it 25, and the render amount I'm also going to make 25. And now you can start playing with this hair length again if you want his hair to be a bit longer, which I think I might in this case. Something like that's pretty cool. Save that quick there. Now, one other thing that's really cool that you can do with this hair is if you go down under your particle settings here to where it says kink, you can open up that tab, and under kink type it's set to nothing. So we can change this. There's curl. You can try radial. The one I've been liking a lot lately is actually braid, but there's also wave. We'll check wave, which that's actually not bad. And this does look different in cycles than it does in look dev mode and in Eevee, so just keep that in mind. There's braid and spiral. I think I'm actually going to go with spiral. I am, however, just going to change the color of the hair. So go back to my base color. And we can go back and select our main mesh and hit tab, and then select these eyebrows here. Oops. Just select a face and hit L, and then we can just go to our hair 2. Might have to hit add new. Go down to materials, hair 2, and then hit assign. And now the eyebrows are the color of the hair. Alright, so before we get on to making the soccer ball and stuff, let's get this guy having a number on his jersey here, like this other guy. So go ahead and select the mesh, make sure you have your jersey 2 material selected, go into the shading tab. And if you're wondering how I have this gray background, you can just click this little drop down arrow here, and the world opacity should be all the way up. You can just turn it down if you like, it's up to you. I like to work with it down. So what we're going to do first is with our Jersey 2 material selected, we'll hit Shift A and we're going to add in an image texture. And then hit open and go to wherever you have the material saved on your computer. If you downloaded the project files, in the link to the description of this video, you'll have the exact materials and textures that I'm using. So if I can find where I saved it here, textures, I believe it's this one here, open image. Then I'll plug the color into the base color. So I hit tab to go into edit mode, and then with selecting Jersey 2, hit select, hit 1 to go into front mode, U, and then project from view. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to scale, we're going to go into the UV editing tab, and we should have this selected. If you don't have this selected, you can just click out of it, click on Jersey 2, click select, and then hit U, project from view, and then A and S. And what we're going to do first is we're just going to scale everything up so that it's white. And then I'm going to select these two faces here, hit U, project from view, and then I'm going to want to grab these, hit 2 to go into edge select mode and grab this top edge and hit SX0, SY0 to flatten that out. Same for down here, SY and 0. And then I'm just going to want to start scaling. Hit A to select everything and scale out. You can see we have this issue here, and it's being duplicated on both sides, and that's because we haven't applied our mirror modifier. So we need to hit tab to go out of edit mode, go into the modifiers tab, and just apply this mirror modifier. Now if we go back into edit mode under the UV editing tab and select these two faces again, hit U, project from view. Now it's going to work, but first we need to just go hit 2 to go into edge select mode, grab these top faces S, Y, and 0, and these bottom two edges, S, Y, and 0 to flatten those out. And now we can hit A to select everything and just start scaling that 0, G, and X to move into place. Scale out a little bit more, G and X to just move over. Hit 1 to go into vertice mode. We can just pull this down. Then grab these points, pull them up. So now we have a nice big 0. Hit everything A. Hitting A and X just to kind of get that 0 looking a bit better. It's a little stretched looking. Let's see if we can fix that. S and X. That's not too bad right there. Alright, so we'll go back into the shading tab here. And what we want to do is we don't necessarily want this to be white and black like that. I mean, you could leave it like that if you want, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have our Jersey 2 material selected, hit Shift A, and we're going to add in a color ramp. And just place it right in between there. And now we can see that if we grab the white and pull it all the way up, it's going to make everything white. So the white area, we can make that red by clicking down here, make it red. And then the black area, we can make that whatever color we want. I think it might be cool to make it like either a white or blue, because that's the color of his shorts and shoes. So we can select our black, go to this black color right here, and then use the eyedropper tool and just select what we want. Something like that's not too bad. Let's just try white though, for the sake of seeing what white looks like. It's a little bit on the grayer end. I think I'm actually going to go with the blue. Something like that looks kind of cool to me. And then you could always, I mean, this is going to be a pretty hard line here. You could invert it like that if you wanted to. What a Control Z. I think I'm going to leave it like this. The only thing I might do is just change this color red to be not so bright. You just come down a little bit there. You could even make it any other color too if you wanted to. Yellow is kind of cool. Kind of like that. That's neat. Let's go with that. So we'll go back into our layout, and now we have these two characters here. We did forget to make the inside of his mouth to color that, so go ahead and just select your main mesh, go into edit mode by hitting tab. You can select all of the faces, just holding down shift, selecting the faces that you want to be the inside of his mouth. And you could use the same process we did before by hitting this plus icon, making a new material and assigning it. I'm going to do that, however I've already made a material earlier which I'm going to use, and if you downloaded the project files in the link in the description you'll have this material as well. And I'll just hit assign. And I missed a face there, so I'll grab that one and just hit assign. Oops. Gotta go to the mouth, hit assign. There we go. So now we can go ahead and make another soccer ball, and we're gonna make a little bit, maybe a better soccer ball than we did before. And just one thing I noticed here, so you can see his skin has a little bit more detail on it, and that's because the we're not gonna make it in this tutorial, but I'll just show you the skin material I used for this guy is pretty simple. So I'll select this guy, hit his skin here. So it's basically like what we did before, we just assigned a color. However, what I did was I hit Shift A, I added a bump node, plugged the normal into the normal, and then I hit Shift A, added a Musgrave texture, and applied the height into the height, and just played with the settings until I got this kind of like bumpiness, and just kind of added some detail to the skin. So, you know, feel free to do that. I think I'm going to quick switch his skin here since I already have it in this session. Go select my skin, then I'll go to my materials, just hit skin, and then now they have got both have the same skin. So just adds a little bit more detail, I think. So yeah, so it's just a Musgrave texture with the height plugged into the height, a bump texture with the, a bump node with the normal plugged into the normal, and then you can adjust the colors to whatever you want. And if you want to copy the settings that I used, I'll just zoom in on the screen here. So those are the settings that I used. Alright, moving on. So now it's time to make that soccer ball. So I'm going to quick just again save my project and close some of these folders up here. So I have a section in here, a scene collection called ball. I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to hit Shift A, Mesh, and I'm going to add in an icosphere. And I just want to scale that down a pretty good bit there. And what we can do is we can actually hide these other things for now, so we can focus on this soccer ball. And I clicked out of it, so I'm going to have to delete that, and then hit Shift A, Mesh, icosphere, and you'll get this option down here for the icosphere. So for the subdivisions, we just want to change that to 1 and then hit enter. So now we can go to our materials tab, and the first thing we're going to do is hit new, and I'm going to call this ball 1, it'll be white. Hit the plus icon, we'll hit ball 2, call our material ball 2. Enter, and this one we're going to make this like a reddish color. And then we're going to add one more material, new, we'll call this ball 3, and this one we're going to make all black. So now we can select the icosphere, go into the modifiers tab, and we're going to hit bevel. And we can scroll down, first change this to vertices, then go to your shading, and where it says material index, you're going to want to change this to 1. And then we can start playing with the offset, make it like 0.35, I found works pretty good. And then we can add another bevel modifier. And this time, make sure that, I think we'll just leave it on edges. Go to shading, material index, hit 2, and again you're just going to want to play with this offset up here, holding down shift. Maybe do check Oh, that was the offset for the other one, I'm sorry, Control Z. So make sure you're on the correct bevel modifier, and then you can play with this offset here. Just make it real small. And then what we're going to do is one last time, we'll add a bevel modifier. Go all the way down to the bottom here, and just go to shading, and change the material index to 3. Then we can add one more modifier, well, not quite the last one, a subdivision surface modifier. So you want to scroll all the way down to the subdivision surface modifier and change it to simple. And then the last modifier that we're going to add here is going to be a cast modifier. So we'll scroll down to that, and we'll change the factor to 1, and then we'll just right click and shade smooth, and there you have a soccer ball. Now we'll go ahead and apply all these modifiers in the order we added them. And what we can do is we can tap into edit mode here, go to our materials, and on ball 3 the material, just hit select. And then we can hit Alt E, extrude faces along normals, and we can just extrude them up or down a bit. Actually, extrude them down in a bit, or maybe up a yeah, just down in a bit there, and that will kind of give it the detail of like that a soccer ball would have. So now we can turn back on these other collections that we've turned off, and obviously this soccer ball is like way too huge, so we'll just scale that down. See if I can see the actual scale of it. 0.189. So I'll just change that to 0.189. Alright guys, so that is it for this tutorial, and you can see here that I have this terrain platform here. If you want to know how I made this, it's pretty simple, but you can just feel free to message me in the comments or something, and get in touch with me on Instagram at Purple Park Studios, and we can talk about that. I'm not going to go through it because this tutorial has already gone on pretty long. Alright guys, so thanks for watching this tutorial. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.